What's going on, everybody? My name is Aiden and welcome back to the NBA channel. Ladies and gentlemen, the NBA playoffs is slowly but surely coming, and everybody that is a basketball fan is probably quite excited about that. And one team that unfortunately took a massive blow to their playoff picture is the Los Angeles Lakers. Unfortunately, they have two injuries that took place in the game against the Oklahoma City Thunder that sees both of their superstars out for around 4 to 6 weeks. Devastating news if you're a Lakers fan. If you're any other team's fan, let's be honest, the Lakers are one of the biggest teams in the world in terms of fan base. So if you're a Lakers fan, you're probably very devastated. If you're anybody else, you're probably jumping for joy at the moment. I think that's just how sports goes. But with that being said, what I do want to do is discuss the Los Angeles Lakers and whether or not they can actually survive up until the second round. Both players, Luka Doncic, Austin Reeves, as far as I'm aware, have a chance to come back within the second round. So the most important thing for the Lakers now is to just determine and figure out if they can actually survive until that point. Can it be possible? That's what I want to talk about. Let's talk about it in this video. Before we get any further, if you like the video and you want to see more from me, feel free to like and subscribe if you are new. And let me know what you guys think about the Los Angeles Lakers. I feel like I'm out of focus. And whether or not you believe the Los Angeles Lakers have a chance, a true chance to survive the first round and make it into the second round in the hopes that their best players can make the comeback. There's a lot to discuss here. First and foremost, I do want to mention this is going to be a big blow for the Lakers if they do end up losing in the first round. We don't know how much time LeBron has left in this league. He's 41 years old or something like that. He's unbelievably up there in age, and he's still playing at a very high level. So to waste a LeBron year like this with two injuries that could potentially take them out of the first round as they are facing either the Denver Nuggets or the Houston Rockets, both teams with very, very good players under their belt and have, in my opinion, advantages over the Los Angeles Lakers. Even when everybody is healthy, there's advantages that the Rockets do have, even if they're maybe not always the favorites. Whatever the case may be, it would be a big blow for the Lakers to see one of LeBron's final years wasted like this. And it could very well be his final year wasted like this. We don't know for sure. Every time LeBron says this is his last year, he comes back. This guy just does not go away. So we do know there's always a chance for next year with LeBron James. But if this is his last year, that's a very big blow. That's a very, very bad way to go out. So maybe this will actually motivate LeBron not to retire next season. But whatever the case may be, this video is talking about survival. The survival of the fittest. Can the Lakers truly do it? It's going to take a lot, ladies and gentlemen. Here's the thing, right? I want to talk about why I never really saw the Lakers as true championship contenders with Luka Doncic and with Austin Reeves. There are two key areas that I do not like about the Los Angeles Lakers that I feel could get exposed when it comes to the playoffs. The first is their lack of depth. I mean, I have seen some of their bench options and I've seen them play, even in the winning streak, I've seen them play and I've not been very impressed with their bench depth. I mean, Luke Kennard's a great addition to the team and he's easily the best depth that they've got off of the bench. Marcus Smart, I think, can turn it on any given night, but for the most part, their bench depth in terms of all the other teams in the playoffs is severely lacking. And they're going to have to need a massive step up if the Lakers are going to have any chance of survival here. That bench needs to step the heck up. I know Rui Hachimura is in the starting lineup, but we're talking about certain guys like, even the best guys, DeAndre Ayton needs to step up. Rui Hachimura, he needs to step up. Guys like Vanderbilt need to step up. These guys need to step up. Guys like Lavera need to step up. Luke Kennard needs to produce. If he can produce 40+% from three in the playoffs, that's a massive help for the Lakers. But their depth at the moment is my biggest concern, alongside of their defense. So even with their best guys there, that was always my concern, and that still remains my concern. So if you want to ask the question about the Lakers surviving in the NBA playoffs, you need to ask those questions about, can they get together on the defensive end and produce one heck of a defensive team without Austin Reeves and Luka Doncic. To be fair, two players that arguably don't play great defense on their team. Can you come together and become a defensive-minded team? Defense will win you games, even if you don't have a good enough team. If you can swarm on the defensive end, you bring all your best athletic guys, and you try your absolute best to shut down the opponent's team, it can give you chances to win. There have been many, many teams. I look at Memphis all the way back in 2020, 2011, 2012, the grindhouse. All their offense was really just passing it to Marc Gasol or Zach Randolph. They didn't have massive offensive firepower, but they swarmed you defensively, and they were easily the best defensive team in the league. Guys like Mike Conley, guys like Tony Allen, swarming you on that defensive end. And that's how they got their reputation. And they won playoff series and playoff games because of that. So you don't always need the most amazing offense, even for survival's sake. You don't need the most amazing offense, but you do need a good defense. If you can't play defense with your best offensive players out, you will not survive. It is as simple as that. So those are the two areas I have that I'm fearful for the Lakers. And ultimately, that doesn't give me great hope that they are going to survive. We also need to discuss the two teams that they could be facing. The first team would be the Houston Rockets. Now, as of now, the Houston Rockets are the likely favorites to face the Los Angeles Lakers. I believe the Lakers have the season series over them, but they also had Luka Doncic and Austin Reeves. And in the first round, they will not have those two guys. So that's the problem. Can they actually pull up an upset over a Houston Rockets team that has a little bit more depth? I'm not a big fan of Houston's depth either, to be honest. For the most part, I'm not really. I'm incredibly impressed with their starting lineup, but they've always had point guard issues from Thompson to, I think, Reed Shepherd now is playing in their starting point guard position, and ultimately, when the Bulls beat the Rockets, that was their biggest weakness. It was the point guard spot. We put a lot of pressure in that area, and there were a lot of turnovers, bad shots, misses, everything in between. Houston desperately do need that point guard, and ultimately, I'm not a big fan of their depth either. But they still have a better team without Luka and Austin Reeves than the Lakers. So that's one team that they're facing. And if they face the Denver Nuggets, I don't know how it's possible. No one on that team, even DeAndre Ayton. If DeAndre Ayton gets into any amount of foul trouble, the game's already over for them. They have no one that can stop Nikola Jokic. They have no one that can stop Aaron Gordon. They have no one that can really run with that team. And I would make the case, even the Denver Nuggets, who often are criticized for having the worst depth in the league, has a little bit more depth than the Los Angeles Lakers at this current point. I mean, I don't know anyone who's going to stop Valanciunas, let alone anyone that's going to stop Nikola Jokic. So there's a lot to discuss in that area. It doesn't sound good for Lakers fans, I've got to be honest. And I'm trying to be as fair as possible when I say this. But the chances of survival are still there. The chances for survival are still there. So I want to tell you how I think the Lakers can survive those two teams. First and foremost, you've got to play defense. It's a must. I already mentioned it earlier in the video, and I'm going to mention it now. You absolutely must put pressure on the ball. You got to make everything uncomfortable. Even if it's Nikola Jokic strolling his way down half court, you've got to make him uncomfortable. You've got to put pressure on the ball. You got to swarm that team. You need to think of how the OKC Thunder play defense. It's almost like a college style. They're jumping around everywhere. There's switches left, right, and center. There's not an inch of room that you have. And you in order to beat the Thunder, you need a miraculous offensive game. You need to make sure everything's hitting if you're going to beat the OKC Thunder, or you need a guy like Wemby who could just crush anybody at any given time. That's how you beat the OKC Thunder, right? The Lakers need to implement that sort of style on the defensive end. Can that be possible? Can that be possible? Athleticism-wise, they've got some athletic players. You could chuck in a Rui Hachimura. You could chuck in a Vanderbilt. You could chuck in a Marcus Smart. LeBron James better turn into his prime self on the defensive end as well. They have athleticism that can kind of move around and free flow on the defensive end to become a good defensive team. Luka and Austin Reeves are not the most amazing athletes. You replace them with good athletes into the team. Defensively, they will get better. It's always about the offense that I'm struggling with. But as I said, if you play good defense, All you needed to do is survive the Rockets. You don't necessarily need to out-talent them. You've got to survive the Rockets. You got to take it down to a place where Houston don't want it to be. You got to take them to the doghouse. You got to take them down to the depths. If the Lakers are going to go down, they need to go down swinging. They need to go down making sure all the pressure is on Houston to deliver. And the best way to do that is to play defense. They need to play defense. Or even Denver, they need to play defense. That's the first thing that they need to do. The second thing that needs to happen, the 41-year-old All-Star, LeBron James, needs to turn back the clock, baby. He needs to get into that Cleveland Cavaliers mindset. No more watching golf videos on YouTube. No more, no more podcasts. You got to shut all that crap off. And you got to turn back the clock. LeBron James, at 41 years of age, is being asked to lead this team past the first round. And I don't think he can do it. But ultimately, if there's any chance, he needs to turn back the clock. He needs to be the leader. He needs to be the first option. He needs to play 40 minutes in the game. He needs to be that guy. The one thing we love about LeBron, durability. I know he has had a couple of injuries over the past few years, but when it comes to playoff time, he's normally ready. He's normally ready to play, and he's normally willing to go the distance. But can he truly turn back the clock? I've seen so many conversations, so many quotes from LeBron James talking about how he takes his approaches to the NBA games. Every training session's a bit of a drag. Every single game, he's mentioned back-to-backs are literally always... he's always on the list of maybe not playing that game. It's always in doubt or questionable, whatever the case may be, after every back-to-back at this point. Playoff games, it could be very similar. I know LeBron James is enough of a competitor in this day and age to play those playoff games if he's available to play. But my goodness, he's going to need that Cleveland mindset. He's going to need to turn back the clock. He's going to need to average the 30 points. He's going to need to get the 7 and 8 assists. He's going to need to be the best defender. He's going to need to be the best rebounder in the team. There was one point with Cleveland when Kyrie and Kevin Love got hurt. LeBron James averaged the most points, the most assists, the most rebounds, the most steals, the most blocks. I think that's what it's going to take to get the Lakers past the first round. LeBron James needs that stat line. And they need to swarm them on the defensive end. I know they're not the Warriors, that Rockets team, but they're good enough. Kevin Durant, for crying out loud, is on that team. Şengün is on that team. If you look at Denver, Jokic is the best player in the world. Jamal Murray always turns it on for the playoffs. Aaron Gordon is an unstoppable beast half the times in those series. This is going to be a tough ask. Almost impossible. But there is a chance. And those reasons I just explained are the only chance the Lakers have. I would say in 100% chance... Out of the 100% that you could give them, the chance that they get past the first round is probably going to be around 20% for me, maybe 15% even. It's that low. It's not... You have to respect the other teams in the league and the players that they have. And you need to understand the Lakers' weaknesses. And it just sucks that this has happened. Now, I do want to mention those injuries. Austin Reeves had a grade 2 oblique muscle injury. As I mentioned before, he was standing in front of JJ Redick with that injury, and JJ Redick didn't take him out of the game. That's poor coaching, in my opinion, and he should be looking himself in the mirror for that, because I don't know if it was ever going to be more or less than 4 to 6 weeks, or definitely less if he was playing, if he was taken out of the game, but he was hurt, man. Why'd you not take him out? And the Luka injury... Luka has, I think, a grade 2 hamstring issue. He is in Spain as we speak right now, taking some medical treatment and some sort of injection therapy to promote healing in his knee. So maybe, just maybe, there's a chance he could be in for the late first round if you take it down to game 6 and 7, I would say. But it would take a miracle to get him ready for the actual beginning of the playoffs. It's a big ask. It's a very big ask. And I don't think it's possible, but there's always a chance. Can the Lakers be the one that proves everybody wrong? Can LeBron James turn back that clock? Can they all of a sudden become the best defensive team in the league? That's what it's going to take. They're going to have to play a brand of basketball we haven't seen all season. I'm not saying the Lakers are a bad defensive team, by the way, but when you have a starting lineup of Luka, Reeves, and LeBron, you're going to have defensive discrepancies. 2 players don't run back on defense, and Austin Reeves is not a great defender. So... you're going to need great team defense. Everybody needs to buy in. JJ Redick needs to coach one hell of a series and get these players invested on that end. And if he can do that, there was literally a comment not too long ago of JJ Redick slamming his team. Let's see if I can find that quote real quick. He was slamming his team after a loss. So I think he said something about taking Hachimura off because he didn't do his job. Brutal response. Cussing out everybody. JJ Redick. Hopefully you guys don't hear sounds, but yeah, he said something along the lines of Rui Hachimura was taken off because he didn't do his job. Apparently there was an issue with him and Vanderbilt, and he also said about DeAndre Ayton he couldn't catch the ball. So he wasn't happy. He was not a happy coach after that first game. After his last game against the Thunder, he was not a happy coach at all. So how is he going to get his team to buy into that defensive end? It doesn't look good, guys. I'm sorry. So the Lakers, you're going to need to pull out something. You're going to need to believe in yourself when nobody else does. You're going to need to pull out a miracle. Miracles are possible. But my goodness, it's going to be a big one. Thank you for watching. I tried my best. I tried my best to make this video as fair as possible. It just doesn't look good, man. It doesn't look good. They have to survive. This is survival of the fittest. This is not let's beat Houston by out shooting them. This isn't let's beat the Rockets or let's beat Denver by pure talent. This is literally taking them down to the depths and surviving for dear life. It's almost like in those movies when someone's holding on to a ledge for dear life and there's a chance for someone to come save them. But the only way to save them is to chuck them over the cliff so you can kind of hang on and you can survive. That's what the Lakers need to do. When the Lakers look like they're going to be dead and buried, they need to throw somebody else under the bus. They need to find a way, as scrappy as it is, to throw someone else down that cliff so they can survive. That's what needs to happen. We'll see. Thank you for watching. Wow, 16 minutes about the Lakers. See you guys in the next one. Stay safe, stay healthy, and stay tuned for more. Take care, and peace.